see. Let's go to another website. We're actually going to do a search. We're going to do a Google search here. Now, one thing to note, on the Android phone, you just tap on the address bar and you can do a Google search within that address bar. On Safari, you have to go to the search area. I actually prefer having both of those unified, so I prefer makes things a little bit more condensed and a little bit easier. But we're going to do the we're actually going to do a voice search on both of these here. So let's see what we got here. Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Okay, it's spelling Nexus, N-E-X-I-S over here. Okay, let me hit search and see if it brings anything up. Okay. Alright, so this is pretty much instantaneous over here with Android. It listened for what I had to say, it knew when I stopped, I didn't have to press any button when it was done, and it brought up the search right away. Over here, with the voice control, with the voice search, I had to press a done when I was done talking, and then it confirmed what I wanted to say, and I also had to press another button and it brought up a search here. So let's try something that is a little more Apple friendly over here and see if it, because it didn't spell Nexus correctly. So let's just see, let's look up iPod Touch. Alright, there we go. Finally brought it up over here. Now I'm beginning to understand here the difference between the two. Like I said, you just speak it right into Android, it knows when you're done, and it does the search immediately. Over here, like I said, you press the button and then you have to confirm it. So let me just hit iPod Touch here, and it brings up the search. So that's the voice search. I think it was definitely better over here on Android than it was over here with the voice search on iOS 5. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to type in a search, and then I'm going to press the search button and see which one brings up the search faster. So let's bring up Asus on both of them, and we're going to hit search at the same time here. Okay, seem to be a little bit quicker here on the iPhone 4. And let's do one more. Windows 8. I see Windows 8 there, so I'm going to hit that in a second. There, I see Windows 8 there. So we're going to actually hit the suggestions here instead of the search button. A little bit quicker on the iPhone here for the search by a hair. Now the next thing I want to tackle here is pinch to zoom. Let's just use the first link on both of them. Actually, they brought up a different search here, which is interesting. You'd think they'd bring up the same search, but they brought up a different search. I have a Wikipedia article first here, and I have a Tech Radar article first here. So that is interesting. Let's bring up the Wikipedia on both of them. Alright, very close. I think the Atrix might have had a slight advantage on that, but very close. The performance on both of these devices is very tight. Okay, let's see. Let's see how they scroll. I'm going to flick them both to scroll them. Okay. Okay, now when you flick it, there's a little more inertia with the iPhone than there is with the Atrix, and you'll notice that it's a solid, you know when you hit the top on this, and then you know when you hit the top when it bounces on the iPhone here. But it seems like it's almost heavier, the inertia is heavier with the iPhone than it is with the Atrix. So you can just flick on the Atrix and pretty much go all the way to the bottom, whereas you have to go a couple of times with the iPhone. And let's do a pinch to zoom on this. Okay, maybe we can't pinch to zoom this, so we'll have to find a different website to do that. Let's go to the Motorola Mobility site. Hopefully that's not a mobile phone site. Okay, they finished very similarly, although I think the iPhone was a little ahead on that one. Now you have a listing of phones here, and it does look like a regular. Okay, good. We can do a pinch to zoom test here. Both very responsive. And you get a bounce on both of them when it extends further. So very responsive on the pinch to zoom on both devices here. So let's just check the accelerometer on both devices and see how fast it switches. Okay. Seems like the accelerometer on the iPhone is a little bit faster. The iPhone 4S comes in a couple of flavors. It comes in a 16 gigabyte version, a 32 gigabyte version, and a 64 gigabyte version, and you can get it in black or in white. The Atrix pretty much comes in one color, and it comes in one capacity, which is 16 gigabytes of storage. But you can actually expand that storage up to 32 gigabytes by installing a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. The Atrix uses regular sized SIM cards, and you have a micro SIM on the Apple iPhone 4, which means that if you actually want to put this SIM into another phone, it makes it a little more difficult, and I think Apple does it for two reasons. Number one, for space, because they want, they make the smallest phone, thinnest phone that they possibly can, and they don't want unnecessary size being taken up by a SIM card. And also it makes it more difficult to switch to another phone. And the one thing I think I neglected to mention on the actual specs of the devices, the Atrix has 1 gigabyte of RAM in it, and the Apple iPhone 4S has 512 megabytes of RAM, so it has less RAM. But as you can see in the the speed tests that I did, they're very comparable in speed as far as browsing goes. So that's pretty much it for now. I've had the Apple iPhone 4S for about 3 days now, and I have yet to activate it with AT&T. So I was just going to do this video here, and then I'm going to do the activation, so I'm going to do the switch here. I'll give you more impressions on what I think of the Apple iPhone 4S in subsequent videos. I've had the Atrix and I've used it as my phone for about 8 months now, and I really love the device. I love the fingerprint scanner. Pretty much anything I throw at it, it doesn't choke the device. It's a really good phone. And as you can see in this demonstration so far in this video, the iPhone 4S is very capable as well, and I doubt I could throw anything at it that's going to choke it. So I'm going to end the video here. And I will give you, like I said, I'm going to give you further impressions on the iPhone when I've used it a little bit more. And I'm actually going to do a full review on the device. So at that time, I will give you a more in-depth opinion on the phone. But right now, I really can't form a total opinion on it yet because I really haven't had enough time with it. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.